Greetings everyone, welcome back. It's been ages since I've done a video covering a very specific topic. My last one was my Repetitions in Storytelling video essay, where I compared Rick Riordan to Ryan Murphy and pit the two against one another to see who handles repetition of similar plots better. Naturally, Rick Riordan won, having successfully created his Camp Half-Blood Chronicles, which will be made into a TV series starting with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, something I hope to audition for eventually. If you haven't checked that video out, I'll link it down below. For today, though, we'll be covering a topic that I've just begun circling back to, and that's the Harry Potter universe. As a kid, at ages 10, 11, 12, and 13, I was a huge Potterhead, reading the books, playing the video games on the Wii system, and even going to the theaters with my father to see The Half-Blood Prince and The Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2. But the character that I felt never got enough attention in the books, or even in the films for that matter, was Harry's original Quidditch team captain of Oliver Wood, Percy Weasley's roommate and one of Harry's many mentors he encounters. Oliver Wood was a true member of Gryffindor, and possibly one of the people Harry looked up to the most, if not including his godfather, Arthur Weasley, Remus Lupin, and other members of the Order of the Phoenix, and of course, Dumbledore himself. When Harry first meets Wood, he assumes McGonagall is looking to punish him for having impulsively flown on his broom after Malfoy to retrieve Neville Longbottom's Remembrall. He assumes physical punishment is coming to him. Instead, McGonagall introduces him to Gryffindor's Quidditch team captain, telling Wood she potentially found him his new seeker, since Gryffindor House failed miserably the previous year to bring home the Quidditch Cup, and they've been looking desperately for someone talented enough. Harry's father having been a chaser for the Gryffindor Quidditch team, it shouldn't have been a surprise that Harry inherited his father's athletic capabilities, and like McGonagall, Wood saw potential in the 11-year-old first year and sought out to train him, teach him the proper etiquette of the sport, and ultimately giving Harry a new circle of friends outside of Hermione, Ron, and his roommates. We even see it in the first movie, where Wood gives Harry one-on-one training and personally coaches him. In hindsight, I think that this moment of Wood giving Harry his training was him potentially grooming his young prodigy to eventually become Quidditch captain one day, something that Harry actually does end up doing and following in Wood and Angelina Johnson's footsteps during his 6th year. Wood even compares Harry to Ron Weasley's older brother Charlie, whom Wood said could have had a career at Quidditch if he didn't choose to study dragons in Romania. He claims Harry could give the second eldest Weasley family member a run for his money, and the 11-year-old feels a sense of accomplishment knowing this probably being the very first time he's shown to excel at something and receive acknowledgement for it, since the Dursleys never once gave him praise for anything he did. This probably even gave Harry a huge boost of morale, something he'd clearly been in need of. As the team captain, Wood took his role very seriously, doing everything he possibly could to boost the team's morale. Yet, more often than not, his long-winded speeches left his teammates annoyed rather than motivated, displaying just how tone-deaf he can come across to people. Here's just a couple of prime examples at just how tone-deaf he can be and how skewed his perception is. While some of these moments of him saying these stupid things add levity and dry humor to the movies, they most certainly don't help Harry feel much better.
Scared, Harry?
A little.
That's all right. I felt the same way before my first game.
What happened?
I don't really remember. I took a bludger to the head 2 minutes in. Woke up in hospital a week later. All right, listen up. We play our game. Hufflepuff doesn't stand a chance. We're stronger, quicker, and smarter.
And not to mention, they're dead scared that Harry will petrify them if they fly anywhere near him.
Well, that too.
Nonetheless, his coaching of Harry pays off, and Harry catches the snitch and earns Gryffindor House their victory against Slytherin. But just because Wood sees Harry as his golden boy and his star player, it doesn't mean he isn't tough on him. He even gives Harry a bit of the cold shoulder when Harry's detention takes 50 points away from Gryffindor House. But Wood seems to forgive Harry by the time he reaches his second year, and Wood begins putting his teammates through rigorous training sessions, determined to win the cup that year more than anything. He even stands up to Marcus Flint, his rival from the Slytherin team, when Flint comes trying to take time away from his training session, all because Draco Malfoy bought his way onto the team through his father's money, which paid for the Nimbus 2001s. He even says to Harry, "It'll be down to you, Harry, to show them that a seeker has to have something more than a rich father. Get to that snitch before Malfoy or die trying, Harry, because we've got to win today. We've got to." While this shows how Wood stands by his values and how he truly believes Harry to be something one of a kind and earned his place, this was actually a very stupid thing for him to tell his seeker, because by the time Harry goes out on the field, a rogue bludger is trying to throw him off his broomstick, with Fred and George desperately trying to protect him, and Alicia Spinnet calling Wood insane for wanting to continue with the game, afraid Harry could be killed. And Wood's reaction of them winning the game shows how beyond manic and idiotic he can get, when he expresses pride in how Harry caught the snitch, not even seeming to care that his star player's arm is broken. And Wood's manic need to win the cup comes through especially in Harry's third year, when he begins holding practices in harsher weather conditions. He even says Harry is his best team member and never failed to win them a match, his eyes said to be glaring at Harry in a furious sort of pride, showing how much he's grown to love and appreciate Harry's presence on the team, perhaps even seeing his seeker as a surrogate younger brother. But when Slytherin tells them they won't be playing and that they'll have to play against Hufflepuff instead, Wood grows increasingly agitated, stressing to them at the top of his voice that they must win, since it's his final year, therefore his final chance. He even goes as far as to pull Harry aside in between classes to go over strategies with him, leading to Harry being late for Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is being substituted by Professor Snape. Unfortunately, when Harry has his first failure due to Dementors overthrowing him, Wood's disappointment is what hits Harry the hardest, even though Wood doesn't blame him at all. It is this very disappointing loss that leads to Harry desperately determined to make it up to Wood, especially in the match against Ravenclaw. And when Wood hears Harry received the Firebolts for Christmas, he's ecstatic, but very frustrated that McGonagall confiscated the broom to check for any signs that it's been cursed. He even goes to her and tells her about this, leading to McGonagall believing he cares more about winning the game than he does about Harry's safety, which we know is not true, but Wood's overwhelming passion for wanting to be the best blinds him. He even tells Harry during the Ravenclaw match to quit being a gentleman and knock Cho Chang off her broom if need be, showing how crazed he's gotten. And after they beat Ravenclaw, it's said Wood could be heard yelling, "That's my boy," repetitively. Fortunately, Harry does end up ultimately winning them the Quidditch Cup in the match against Slytherin, Wood's main ambition since he became captain of the team, and he finally got the one thing he's always ever wanted. It's enough to even drive Wood to tears of sheer joy, and he's said to go running up to Harry and hugging him, sobbing into his shoulder, knowing that his golden boy, the kid he personally trained 3 years ago and taught him everything about the sport, had helped him finally get a win for the first time in years. restoring the Gryffindor Quidditch team's glory. Wood's ambition with Quidditch leads to him having his greatest achievement yet, when he gets placed on the reserve team for Puddlemere United as keeper, something he excitedly tells Harry about when they briefly reunite at the Quidditch World Cup. And his ambition bleeds onto the next Gryffindor captain, Angelina Johnson, whom he put good word in for McGonagall. And Angelina is shown to develop the same manic, eyes-on-the-prize mentality, berating Harry publicly for his detentions he gets from Dolores Umbridge and demanding that he be at tryouts for the new keeper. Harry even makes a dry joke about how maybe they should send an owl to Puddlemere United to see if Oliver Wood, who was obsessed with winning all the time, died during a flying accident, because Angelina has inherited his same attitudes and training mentality with her own team and was channeling his spirit. I can guess that this is because Angelina wants to somehow prove to Wood that he made the right choice picking her to lead. And Harry's leadership over Dumbledore's army, I presume, is what leads Angelina into recommending to McGonagall that Harry be made Quidditch team captain. She probably saw in him that same fire and hunger to lead that she and Wood both carried, something that Wood helped embed in him since the day he took Harry onto the Quidditch field to privately tutor him. And ironically, Harry ends up inheriting the same eyes-on-the-prize, winner-takes-all DNA of a Quidditch captain from both Oliver Wood and Angelina Johnson, desperately trying to take control of his own team and, from what I presume, make Wood and Angelina proud of him. It's possible Angelina recommended McGonagall make Harry captain since he personally taught her defense against the dark arts and led the battle in the Hall of Mysteries at the Ministry of Magic. He even ends up getting a similar head injury as Wood did his very first match, when Cormac McLaggen smacks a bludger directly at Harry's head during Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff, due to McLaggen not shutting up and trying to do everyone's job half-assed. It's pretty ironic to me that Wood got hit in the head with a bludger during his very first match and woke in the hospital wing a week later, and Harry ends up getting injured the exact same way, just at the time when he's made Quidditch captain. As if the two couldn't be more alike in more ways than one, this happens. But Wood does end up coming back in the end, where he's mentioned in the 7th and final book to lead the cavalry against the Death Eaters on broomsticks with members of the Quidditch teams, even helping move the bodies of the slain into the Great Hall. This ultimately shows Wood's courageousness and how he is willing to go into the line of fire to save the school, and how he's able to compartmentalize and know where his priorities lie. And after that, we don't know much about Wood's life, but he's to this day one of my absolute favorite, most underdeveloped characters the books had to offer. I would have wanted more of him, maybe have him join the Order of the Phoenix during Harry's 5th year, since he's shown to be such a capable fighter and a charismatic leader, focused and determined, and clearly knows how to win. He's the character that had the potential to grow into something more, but he never got that chance, and sadly, I'm not sure we'll ever get to see something like that for him. Thank you for watching. If you're brand new, please subscribe to the channel. I will be putting links down below to a more updated blog and my Instagram for you to check out if you wish. Also consider leaving a comment and a like on the video to support the channel as a whole. God bless, happy viewing, and have a nice day.